it's Cinnamon Coney, your art Sherpa, and we actually made it to today's palette knife class for Aloha Waterfall. I'm going to show you the steps on how to create this painting with a palette knife on a black canvas. If you don't already have a black canvas, I got a secret insider tip for you. Canvases are Mars Black Gesso, which means you could just paint your canvas black with Mars Black, which would work equally as well. On the mic today is my husband, John.
Hi, guys. I don't know why I'm on the mic.
Why are you not on the mic?
I'm next to the mic.
Okay, he's next to the mic. He's not right in the mic. He's not there at the mic. And he is doing the all-important job of figuring out how to get us powered up after power outages and all kinds of interesting shenanigans this morning. He's also been actively, he's in the chat. He reads questions. He asks me questions for you guys, and he follows me around with cameras.
Sometimes, yes. And push
Pretty much all the time. I move around too much is my problem.
No, you don't.
I'm going to move these things over so I have my references. I've got my 16 by 20 black canvas right there, and I have my references right here, so I can do that.
I like all your moves.
You like my what?
I like all your moves.
Oh, you're being sweet now. He's being sweet. I like it. All right. Let's just quick talk about the materials. So the paint I'm using today is heavy-bodied acrylic, and the colors for the whole project are going to be burnt sienna, yellow ochre, dog's ear purple, cad red medium, phthalo green. I am using cadmium orange. I am enjoying testing my gifted tube of paint, cadmium yellow.
Ooh.
I have phthalo blue and titanium white. But the first part of our project is going to be less colors than this. So I'll just pull those out of what I think I will actually be using because it's so messy to do palette knives. Oh, and our palette knives today are, I call this the Bob.
Yeah.
This knife. Don't panic if you don't just see this knife everywhere. They have this one in plastic as well.
Huh.
Let me show. I have it right here. Where? See? They have this in the plastic as well. And just don't tell my mom you used it. And then we're going to be using a diamond. Really seriously, in palette knives, the trick is just not to tell my mom you used a plastic knife. I'm just saying, from years of experience.
Why
just don't let her know.
No.
I just got to avoid that one artist. No, I'm just kidding.
While you're putting out your paint, I'm going to say hello. We have 240 people here with us already. Just a crew of people that are just here to paint. Thank you guys for joining us.
We are so going to nail this painting. We're going to be in awe.
We have little brushes with us. We have big brushes with us. So many people's out there. We have a couple wishes that are coming in.
Excellent. We have some wishes that we had pre-collected for the canvas.
We do.
But not enough wishes.
And I'm going to say hi to everybody who's out there. You guys, big art hugs and high fives to everybody who's showing up today. I'm so happy to see you.
I'm so happy to be here. We heard the pop. It was big. It was several transformers. It was like a plane crashed.
It was, yeah. And then there were lots of trucks. And then I was like, ooh, I get to test my generator. And realized I have a double bonded ground. So I got to fix that. But it's cool.
Yeah. But, dude,
it's awesome.
We had the painting one already up. If you are not into palette knives, no worries, because the painting version of this is up with just brushes. So easy. But we're the knife crew, and we're going to knife it up today. I'm going to have to put my wishes on the back of this canvas because it's pre-painted with black. You've got some for me. I know that we've got one for Tyler is starting school, and I wanted to wish for Tyler that he makes lots of friends and that he feels really comfortable and happy in his school space. That's what I'm wishing for him. And you can't see me wish that because this is invisible on the back of this canvas.
That's not too bad.
There is a wish for Kitty. What was the kitty's name?
Kitty. Oh, the kitty.
Messages.
City.
City the kitty.
City the kitty.
Okay, I love that. City the kitty. Just a little more health and time for your fur mama. She wants more time with you.
And so we have a couple of wishes for little brushes. You have Dee's little brush up there, right?
Yeah, I have Dee's little brush.
And then we have another one in there for Josie. We're having a meeting on Thursday to see if we can get Josie some more time into the special needs classes with her for help with her autism. So, big wish for her.
I really hope that. I'll tell you what, it's just about the people around getting it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really less about the kids and more about the grown-ups.
Yeah.
I think. My opinion.
And we have another wish here for Teresa's brother, Ron, gets good word on his cancer and his illnesses.
I really wish that for your brother.
And there's a lot of love to Ghost Hostess from all the Sherpettes in the chat. Just a ton of that in there.
We need to add a wish for Audie
Mm-hmm.
and her husband. If you guys are friends with Audie, go by and give her some ladybug love.
And Sarah's asking we add a wish for Clive and his mom.
Yes. Thank you, Sarah. Yes, let's all send some love and light to Clive and his mom.
And, I saw a wish go out there for Donna to a veteran friend of hers. And I'm just going to say we put a wish out there for all of our veterans because we just can't say enough wonderful thank yous to those guys and girls who serve us in our country. So
absolutely.
Love to you guys.
Absolutely.
So,
well, that's an exciting, auspicious start.
We have so many good wishes to put out there. We have
There's
many light keepers with us
fairy
today.
murder all over my black canvas.
So to tell you guys, she in a video not too long ago did some foiling.
Yes, it's foiling, which is the same. It's made from fairy wings. It's very messy.
And so if you know anything about glitter, it gets everywhere. But foil
so much worse than glitter. I don't even know why anyone bothers with glitter. It's
thinner
foil.
And it sticks to things electrostatically. It's just awesome.
Now, I'm going to do an interesting thing here that you are not going to do at home, but I want you just to be able to hold the shape of the rock. I am going to, with a white pencil, sketch in a little bit of my rock shape and also my vertical.
Okay.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go right in the center of my canvas, and I'm going to try to just eye a vertical line. I did this on the painting one, and this, I think, really helps people just know, oh, I got to stay straight.
Yeah.
I gotta go up and down. All right, so I'm gonna come down about 4 inches, and I'm gonna just kind of make an interesting, uneven little rock line here. And then he's gonna have a little friend that comes down and is very rock-like, like this. That's this little rock line.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important for me to sort of get these rock lines in, especially when I'm guiding you guys in, so that you have the best chance of having rock shapes. Now, if you notice, I kind of wander my line. It's very uneven. I shake my hand even a little bit. That really helps me get rocky. Try to think the Thing from Fantastic Four, that sort of energy. If he were a waterfall, what kind of waterfall would he be? And the other thing that you can do is give yourself a nice horizontal line that's level, very, very lightly, because this is palette knife, and you want this to disappear. This is our guidelines, because you need guidelines.
You do.
Wonderful, wonderful guidelines.
So,
all right, what?
I'm just going to give everyone a quick update in chat. It appears that the internet on our end is doing pretty good so far. And so, if you're having any issues with things, just click refresh. There may be some buffering out there, but we seem to be holding up pretty good on this end.
Yeah, I know it seems like it might have, but my hair did not take out the internet.
It's a little loud.
So a trick on palette knives is you want to load the knife to the side that you're going to do the stroke, to the direction.
What does that mean?
So if I'm going to be stroking kind of to the left, it means I need to load the paint on the left side of the knife, right? Like if I'm stroking down,
yep,
I would have it on this side of the knife.
Oh,
but if I were coming over here, I would have it on the right side. And that's one of the first things that you've just kind of got to get with knives.
Okay.
So I've got it sort of solidly in my hand,
mm-hmm.
right? Placed here, my fingers around, thumb to steady it, forefinger to get some control. And I'm going to pull a bead out. See how that's called a bead?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to grab a little green.
No, you don't. Are you're going to mix that up there?
Just a little pressing, but not a lot. And then I'm going to come over and get some white. Do a little press, but not a lot. If I press a bunch, it will uniformly mix, and I won't get the nice weird little streak that I'm trying to get. And my first goal will be to sort of follow my line here. My knife here is at a nice angle. I don't know what degree angle that is, but it's a little off the canvas, and I am dragging it down just to get this first sense of shape. And once that's there, then I'm going to come here and pull some of this down a little bit so that it feels like it's wandering down. Doesn't actually take a lot. Now, see, I have this here on my knife like this.
Mm-hmm.
I wipe. See how clean that is?
Oh, wow.
And I reload. So, yes, palette knives do use more paint than, say, a brush. But if you understand about the reloading and things, you can lose very little. See that nice little rolled bead there?
Yeah.
I'm going to make this guy's little friendly rock.
Okay, right down here.
You are here, and I'm just following along my line. Top of my knife is following the line. And coming along here, I curve my knife down as the rock changes shape. And pulling this down. Pull down, pull down, pull down. And that kind of has given me some nice little rocks that I've got going. And I feel like it's a little bit too light, so I'm going to pull out some blue. And I feel the paint's too far up my knife, so I'm going to wipe off like this. See, clean?
Mm-hmm.
Pull that. I'm going to come here and just add a little bit where it's pulling down. This is very kind of level to the canvas, and I'm just letting it catch the paint.
Is that the bob knife?
Is that the, yeah, this is a bob knife.
That's a bob knife.
This is a bob knife.
And does that have an official name? Or
You
is
know
it a real
what?
thing?
It does that I don't remember off the top of my head right now. So anyone that wants to shout it out is welcome to. A lot of times these places, when they list their knives, will list them as like, it's a number 10. Which doesn't tell you, like, is it a diamond? Is it a spatula? But this is a compound line knife. I just don't remember its exact technical name. All right, so see I've cleaned here. And now look at me. I'm loading on the other side.
Now, Lori was asking why you didn't do an undercoat with a palette knife.
An undercoat?
Yeah. Like, because normally you do an undercoating with one of your brushes.
The wonderful thing is that I have an undercoat with this terrific black canvas. And I am letting the tone of this canvas create my deep shadows. So it creates less worry and work for me. I'm going to come here.
Gotcha.
And do a similar thing that I did on the far side.
No, Mona was...
I'm going to actually switch to my dominant hand because I don't know why I just went left-handed there.
So Mona was bringing up that that there's and actually Cliff there too said that there's some techniques for doing this with an old credit card, right?
Yes. Angela Anderson created a series of techniques for YouTube. I don't know if you all remember because she'd been away for a while and then she came back and she did those trees with credit cards. And that's sort of one of her signature YouTube things. It's like unique to her. So I always like to kind of just like shout that out to her because she created that. Mm-hmm. Also, she explains it the best. She's really good at it. So yeah, you can use a credit card. And I always like to say, that's the Angela Anderson when I'm doing it.
Yeah. No.
I'm doing an Angela Anderson. She says that loyalty cards are also good. And here's what's funny, because I was sharing that with my mom. I was like, well, Angela Anderson uses a credit card. And she's like, those would be better than plastic palette knives because they'll have a sharper edge.
So now, if they're at home right now and they don't have a palette knife and they're going to try to use a credit card, is that okay with this painting?
That is completely okay with this painting. You know, definitely maybe watch how Angela cut her card and how she uses it and how she gets her lines and things. Because I think she has some of the best tips about that.
Yeah, she's really played with that a lot. And there's just like any tool, when you use it a lot and learn it, there's techniques you can do with it. And she's put a lot of time and thought in that. So it's worth checking out.
I'm loading my right side. See my load?
For our time travelers, can we iCard that?
Yes, for time travelers, I will iCard some of Angela's credit card stuff.
Yeah, so if you're watching this on the replay, it should be right there, clickable. And while you're at it, if you're clicking things, you should click that like, comment, and subscribe button. Hey, look, I remember to do it. I have those calls to action that I forget to do.
I have a call to action. I've added a little more highlight here because I just didn't have enough on that first stroke. My pressure here is very, very light. And I'm just letting the paint catch the wet paint underneath it, which is super nice. And I'm pulling it down vertically because every time I come here and I do this highlight where I pull it down vertically, it enforces the idea that water is running down.
Oh, yeah.
And this is what we're doing, is we're creating an abstract idea of water running down. Now what wants to happen to me is my knife wants to waver, and then oftentimes I have to come and sort of straighten the line. And then I'm going to wipe this off, and I've got that there. I'm going to put out maybe a little green paint. I got a little blue out here already. I'm going to add the brown tone to the rocks.
Now if someone is asking here if you have, it's Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
So she'd like to know if you have a set of palette knives that you use with oil.
Yes.
If you clean them really well, can you use them in
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. You can clean palette knives enough to work for oil paintings or and then go to acrylic paintings.
Gotcha. Cool.
That's totally possible to do. There we go. See this like little bead here, and I'm just kind of adding some rock feel. Not just a ton of rock, so I'm come right here and add just a little bit of rock. Lots of my canvas is showing through. I'm hoping the close-up camera
we can see a lot of that.
Can catch that and see how the paint just skips on the surface. There, my knife got a little wandery because of my hair dryer, so I've just got to straighten that a titch.
Yeah, we can really see. I'll take a look around at some of this.
You can see that bead there?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Where at?
Oh, right here.
Oh, hold on.
I'll just be here.
Doo-doo-doo.
John has pointed out to me that I move faster than Robot Cam has motors.
Well, I just have to adjust the speed. So we can see that bead there.
All right.
Oh.
So I'm going to put it here.
Okay.
And very lightly just allow it to pull down like this. And it just gives me the most beautiful subtle definition of rock. Right? And there's a lot you can do with palette knives and a black canvas. These two things together are the bomb diggity. By the way, practicing these techniques, guys, are going to have payoff for you in the future because we're going to be doing lots of mountains over this fall and winter.
So we have 292 people here right now. We're so close to 294 people and 184 likes. And I wanted to say thank you to all of our moderators,
I love my
like keepers, and all of our people who are hanging out with us. And please do remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit that like button because it's a real easy way to let us know that you like what you saw and that you want to come back and see more.
I am pulling some of this rock down here on this left-hand side. For reasons I don't know, painting with my left hand because it's more comfortable. Always, always, always just whatever is more comfortable, go with that. Wherever you're having comfort when you're trying to express a thought or an idea in your painting, go with it.
So Christy had a really interesting comment here.
I'm going to load the right side this time so I can work with my dominant side. And I'm pulling this down a little bit here, just to show that there's this sort of distant rock. What is Christy?
So she wants to know if she can try to use her scrapey tool, the putty knife thingy, from her toolbox to try to do this with. Now, can I mention this? Because I have one of those.
Yeah.
They have really sharp corners, so I would be really careful about cutting your canvas with one of those. That would be the real big thing. But there are some that are very soft and pliable with really nice corners. So you just have to do that on a individual basis.
And if you think that's where the palette knife came from.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where that idea came from. But John's right. You are in danger of cutting your canvas. I'm trying to think who has videos with that, and I'm going out on a limb, and I just can't remember the name of the YouTuber, but I think there's a YouTuber that does it.
We'll see if we can find some.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know a YouTuber that does it. I just can't pull their name right now.
I think Alan
And they have
just
some
walked in.
really good tips.
Is that Alan here?
Alan? Alan might know. Alan watches everybody.
He's been kung fu fighting for a while.
He's been kung fu fighting.
He's been on vacation.
Ah.
So we've been watching. I've been watching on his Facebook page.
All right. So see, I'm just pulling this brown here. All right. Now, if you want to, you can come up in these upper corners and lightly add just a small amount of this. You know, a couple of places, pull like that last of that bead out. And, you know, if you're just saying, oh, well, maybe there's a little bit of this here on the outer edge, just to say that that is happening other. That's okay.
There's some stuff.
You can do that. Yeah. Now I'm going to wipe my palette knife clean.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Totally clean.
Totally clean. This is a pretty decent one. The issue about a good palette knife is that you're pretty rough with them. So sometimes that can be a challenge in bending them. I bent more than one palette knife. My mom messes them all up. She has to use a really good knife. She's got these Italian knives she really likes that can withstand anything she throws at them now. So you see how I pulled a bead out here, and then I pulled a bead out, I press down, and then I scrape, press, and scrape. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That gives me just enough mix to start telling my story, and I'm telling it, I'm going to come down first with this darkest kind of purple, trying, as I might, to be somewhat vertical.
So it was just pointed out to me that we have a bunch of people from India saying hello today.
Hello.
So hello. Nice to have y'all hanging out with us today.
What time is it in
That's
India
very
right
interesting.
now?
Well, it's a big country, so I imagine it's multiple time zones across it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, imagine that we have, you know...
Wherever you are, is it middle of the night? Is it... Are you giving us some music?
No, I think that's Luna.
It's like...
She's wandering back around there. And this, folks, is why we have background music, is because... You know, when children come walking in with those Disney games
with their
to ask for help.
content ID of Disney.
Yeah, their little content ID machines.
So I'm just pulling this down. I'm just trying to keep this as sharp as I can. This comes into play as soon as I start tipping a little bit of white into it.
Mm-hmm.
Tipping a little bit of white into it, it starts to come into play on the waterfall. But I like to have a little of the purple and blue in the background against the black, even though it doesn't show up incredibly well. I'm going to pull out a little blue, little purple, press down. I'm going to get a little white now. Just about that much. Press down some. So see, it's a little bit streaky.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to start adding a little bit of this.
Okay,
and
so
see how that just pops?
Oh, wow.
It's extraordinary how little it takes. And it's this just, all right, commitment to layering that starts to create this story of the waterfall. I went... Straight lines are not my friend. That's why I was so into my T-square in school. So I'm just kind of making this very folly. Just making sure I have gravity in my painting. Gravity is going to pull the water down straight unless there's a rock to divert it.
Are you saying this is a Gravity Falls?
This is a gravity fall. Thank you for that. Oh, I appreciate that, John. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, this fall is definitely in Gravity Falls.
Okay, so...
It's by where Christabel lives. Oh, yeah, because I have the real deal.
I have a time check. So it is, let's see here, 8 p.m. in Hungary. It is 4 a.m. in Australia. So Janine is up early.
Janine, I love you so much. I'm so sorry at our completely inauspicious times we do things.
And Mithril she's in Hungary. And let's see here. Where was it?
Pressing down very hard, pushing into the canvas, pulling this down. See how that went?
I'm going to see if I can zoom
right
in on that
to the water line. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Starts to be, doesn't it? And then I'm going to come here and very lightly kind of hide the knife lines.
Now, I'm going to go back. There was a comment about someone saying that they bought some palette knives from Walmart.
Did they like them or did they hate them?
They had some trouble because they kept leaving lines in the paint.
Well, I think knives in general will leave lines in the paint. So were they leaving ridges like a comb in the paint, or were the outer edges of the knife leaving a line? Because I know I've got to go back through and smooth it out.
Yeah, you use a little piece of sandpaper and clean the edges up of your plastic palette knives.
You could clean, yeah, you can sand them, you can shape them, especially on the plastic ones. It's just something you can really do a lot with light pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure really controls a lot of your result. I need some more white out. So that's just something to think about, is like, what's the pressure? Because if I'm pressing in very hard, I just got lines. Right? If you're pressing in very hard, lines are going to happen.
And Tanzila is in
All right,
India. And
so I just want to show, I've got this.
Okay, oops.
I need to pull it off my knife and make sure that bead is good. Otherwise, I won't get a good stroke coming down. I'll run out of paint too soon. And I'm going very, very light. Skipping. See how light it is?
Uh-huh.
Lots of the canvas will pop through, and I want that. Try not to paint out my rocks. And I got to stop. I might need to switch direction and even push back up. I just got to make sure I don't paint out the rock that I worked really hard to paint it. Oh, I just ran out of paint. I'm going to pull out a little white and another little bead of this. See the load? Sorry. Just want to explain what's happening.
No, I think it's good.
Okay.
So Tanzania says it's 11:30 in India.
In India. At night or in the morning?
I think that's an AM. Maybe PM? No, it's got to be PM because it's 1:04 here. So yeah, it's got to be PM.
Yeah. We've had some really good submissions for the paint your photo.
Because it's 11 a.m.
From India. Been some pretty exciting ones. I've got a lot more white in this stroke.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so I'm trying to put that on there. I'm going to wipe off, pick up, grab some more white. Now I've got enough paint on my fall where I can start focusing the light in the center to come down here. And I'm going to focus a light center that's going to be dropping down here. This is the center of the fall. Paint is wet underneath. Right? So that's going to give me lots and lots and lots of color that will pick up and streak and blend and be awesome. First, though, I'm going to pull up a little bit of this last purple. I just make sure that I'm around my rocks. I have some interest in my fall. See, that's just a little bit interesting. Just make sure you're interesting. Don't paint out your detail. Just be interesting. You're like, okay, thought I was an interesting person already, but fine. Bead white.
Bead white.
Coming down the center, just right over the top. Pulling it straight down. Bead of white. Just pulling it straight. Coming down here. You just want this bead of white. Just soft pressure. And this is the whole kit of this, is just how gently can you pull this on the canvas. You see how gently I've got that? And then I got to press it in to get it off, but see. And that starts to tell that fall story of the center of the waterfall falling. And see how where it skips, it almost implies that the rocks are there and these items are here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, scrape off. Whoa. You can come right here with that little scrape off. Maybe a little bit here. Just a little more white happening out there. It's really fun to work this. Really enjoyable. Super easy too. I mean, it's crazy easy on the brush, but this is actually, for the palette knife, all you've really got to do is just get your gentle pressure down and your lines correct.
It looks really cool. So Dora just stopped by and just wanted to say...
Dora the Explorer?
Well, Dora Gonzalez.
Hi, Dora.
I'm sure she explores.
She explores YouTube?
So
She's like, oh, yay, that's the fun. I've never heard it.
I'm sure she's never gotten that
Never,
one before.
ever. How you doing today, sweetheart?
Well, you know what? We are Sherpa right now.
We are Sherpa. Is it dance time?
It's dance time.
I can let this rest for a second while we dance. But what did she want?
I'm going to tell you. Okay. There you go. So Donna, so she says she wanted to stop by and say thank you for everything you both do. I will make sure to come back later and try this lesson. She really thought it looked like a lot of fun.
I think it is. I hope it is. Let me know later if you thought it was.
And the heckling, is not normal. So.
I'm sorry. I didn't know if John was messing with me.
I'm always messing with
Tons of respect and love for you. I didn't know if John was messing with me. Because he does that to me. So it's really not you. It's just about
it could be
us.
Me. So, real quick here, while you're dancing there, because we have 300 people in the room, which I'm going to say thank you to.
I have no music.
Oh, I hear you. We have music. I'll just give you music now.
I don't have any. I'm dancing to what's in my head.
Can you hear it now?
Okay. For all of you thinking I was offbeat, we'll pretend it was that I couldn't hear it.
So, Jade would like to know. Would gloss gel work here to add to the paint and to help
extend it?
To extend it?
Yes. Beautifully. Beautifully. You could use matte gel. You could use semi-gloss. You could that just controls the finish shine of your paint, which to me is always kind of a weird thing too, because you have to finish it with varnish, which does control the entire finish shine of your paint. So yeah. I'm gonna do my horizontals.
Your horizontals?
I'm gonna be loading to the left-hand side since I'm going to be stroking left a little bit.
So Cindy would like
pulling
to know.
just a smidge of white into this, and I'm going to try to be using my line across here to somehow maybe possibly have something somewhat like a level line. Wish me luck, wish me luck, this is the hardest part for me.
Or watching. So
wish me luck.
Cindy would like to know if this is going to be an easy...
I have to reload to get my bead.
No, I'm seeing you.
Okay.
Would this be an easy one for Cindy to start as our first palette knife?
As your first palette knife, this would be awesome.
Sorry I didn't have the mic on or the overhead on earlier. I didn't know.
So you can see I'm just pushing it, and I've got my fingers behind to help me guide the levelness, because that's just not where my strength is.
Well, I was watching
and I
you do
know
that.
it, so I'm cheating.
Now I see you move.
Which there is
all
no
around.
cheating in art, but
You're moving all around the canvas there. Like you were standing to the side of it. You're using your body to brace. There's all sorts of stuff you're doing.
yeah, I have to, because this is just an area that I'm gonna struggle, and I may even have to flip the canvas or go the opposite direction to get the paint off and level. Whatever you've got to do. For me, I can't say for every artist in the world. For me, palette knife painting is a very physical painting. My mom too.
What do you
even
mean
if
by
she
that?
says it's not. It means that I'm really I have to be activated within the painting. Like sometimes with a brush, I can just be statically right here forever.
Yeah.
But palette knife really requires a lot of me.
You got to move around.
It does. Just to get control of the tool and feel like I'm positioning myself well. Yeah. Put out some more purple. So we got some water. It seems somewhat level. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. I get to show you my new favorite water splatter technique.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I got a good one I like.
On this
I'm going to
canvas?
get a little bit of white into this mix on this one.
You're going to do it here?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't. Oh, no.
Now, look, I got a little white into that. Created that interesting sort of water dynamic there.
More splatter in my studio.
This is splatter that will not mess up your cameras.
I do not believe
I'm
you.
pressing into the canvas a little bit here just to, make sure I'm covering. But I don't want to remove all my streaking.
Yep.
And right now I'm going to have to very carefully go through here and kind of get rid of these weird little lines. And that's about light pressure and, just kind of smoothing them out.
Now, are you tired after working with a palette knife, or is it just use a lot of motion?
I'm not tired, but I do use a lot more motion.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to get my diamond out.
What? Your diamond?
I'm going to get some white paint in my diamond head palette knife out.
A different palette knife.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Can you show us?
This is my System 3 rubber handle grip. I got this from Mom. She got this at Jerry's Artarama. I bet this one, I've got another one about the same size that's not bent. And this just kind of lets you know that maybe these are not like industrial strength pro pallet knives. I'm going to grab the not bent one.
Now,
I'm going to just load a bit on my edge right here.
Okay.
And I'm going to come along my waterfall with this. Tapping the bit I've loaded in. Tapping it in along the edge here. And then just kind of working a little bit. And I'm going to create my water reflections that I like to do.
Now, there's some questions about varnish that we're going to come back to a little later.
Yeah, always.
I'm going to get those at the end. I've got them, though. So
Okay. So see, I'm just tapping this little water, like the little churned water. The knife isn't flat to the canvas. It's at a little angle. There's a little bead on it you can see right there. And I'm just sort of using that to tap it into the paint. And see, it creates like that. There's little choppy, waterfally water.
Interesting.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks really cool how you're just able to. Now I'm going to zoom in a little more.
Okay.
So don't move around too much. I'm just
all right. I'll hang here and let you see me finish up my water.
I'm on you.
So you can kind of see where it is on my brush or little diamond here, and I'm just tapping that along. I'm making sure my lines are fairly horizontal, even though they're a little whimsical.
Oh, I'm going to get out of here for a second.
See how that does? That's kind of fun. And then I can tell I'm done because my white paint is all there, and now I got a bunch of purple paint.
Oh, I'm going to wipe it off on your palette.
And I'm going to wipe it off my palette. Now I'm going to make my favorite splashies.
How do you do those?
Splashies. All right. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to press in a little bit. And as I press my knife, you're going to see it kind of breaks up like foam. Look at that.
Huh, that's really cool.
Yeah. I didn't have to splatter anything or anything.
Now, do you want the blue to still be wet when you're doing this technique?
It's nice when it is because it creates a little shadow in the knife. Isn't that kind of cool? It looks splashy now.
It does look splashy.
It's so splashy.
It's splashy, splashy.
Splashy, splashy. By the rock, my waterfall. Splashy. And I'm like, I'm going to make it a little bit splashy right here. Just by tapping it down. Look how much more splashy it is.
Ooh.
See? That's all I got to do for splashies.
That's so cool.
Now, probably for being new, the thing that you'll have to really struggle with on a palette knife painting when you're only new, even though it's a real simple painting to construct, is just being okay with what it is. Palette knife painting is a constant act of allowing. Right? So as you're going, you're like, I must accept that this rock is my rock.
It's like improv where you have to say yes to everything.
You kind of got to say yes to what's happening. The way this fall is going, this fall is my fall. This splash is my splash. They're going to be a little different every time. But you want to just make sure that you're leaving room in your space to be okay. Because if you just kept working this fall forever and ever and ever and ever, like you could, like if you wanted to say, I'm going to use up some of this white, you could come with your diamond and, you know, skip a little more white down the center if you wanted. But if you kept working it into the paint, you could lose the fall.
Right.
So you've just got to be careful how much you're doing. Because you don't want to lose this highlight your fall. Because that's what makes it feel like a fall, even though it's an abstract. I have to dry this. One of the other important things in palette knife painting is knowing when you have to dry the work to get the next part done. So I'm going to dry this at least surface dry. And I do have to talk to y'all about varnishing palette knife paintings because it's a whole different set of rules. But let me dry this, and John will talk to you all for a minute.
Hey. Well, gosh, guys, thank you all for coming and hanging out with us today. We've got over 300 people here and over 270 likes here. Wanted to say thank you for all those. Really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you have any friends that you want to have come join and hang out with us, please invite them to come hang out. We love having all you guys in the room with us, getting all your questions. What else did I need to do? Because I always forget. Hi. We'll save all the questions to the end. We have our shows up on Peg. We can go to shop.theartsherpa.com for all of our cool stuff that's out there. And yeah, I think that's most of the stuff. Oh, and in the iCard is the brush version of this. So remember that we had about a 45-minute, I think it's about 45-minute long version of this that's done with a brush. So if you want to try that technique, it's really cool too. And what else? The Sherpa's left me here quite a long time to chat with you guys. I'll have more music here soon. I'm going to get some more music for you guys. What else? We've got some cool effects that I'll be doing with the new studio stuff. I don't really have a chance just to chat with you guys that often. I should put some notes of stuff that I want to tell you, because there's always stuff that I want to tell you, but the Sherpa's generally pretty talky. So, yeah. And, yeah, Lisa just pointed out, there's over 325 people here in the room. Oh, my gosh. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with us. That's really cool. And Alan was asking, are you coming to New York? Yes. At some point, hopefully soon, we'll be heading back up to the New York area, and both to the Big Apple and the surrounding areas. We've got some friends up there to come and visit. So, it should be fun.
What are we talking about?
You left me here so long. I was.
You were just like, I'm talking about everything now.
I'm alone.
I'm going to put out way more burnt sienna than I probably need. You probably need like half that. I always get I just want you to be able to see it on the camera, and then I put out too much. That's my problem. I only need a teeny tiny amount of this because that's just a highlight.
They pointed out we're double Sherpa.
We're double Sherpa?
Double Sherpa. 300. I didn't even know that. I'm going to have to go over and find some more music now. That's just, how awesome is that, guys? Thank you so much. And right now I just have my regular old music going, which is so sad. I should be more prepared for this. I'm sorry. It's just I was prepared for being all mellow today, so if that helps, it was
Are we done? Almost, sweetie. Just the flowers. Okay.
Just the flowers.
She knows how important flowers are.
Oh yes, she does.
I like flowers too.
There's your dance music that I had for you.
But flowers have bugs inside them? Can you go say hi to everybody and say thank you for double Sherpa?
That's a good thing. Here, come here.
Hi, I'm Luna. I like piggies.
You like piggies? Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everyone. I love to see your paintings so much.
Please post them up on Facebook so we can see them.
What do you say?
Post them up on Facebook.
Post them up.
She doesn't know what Facebook is.
Yeah.
Can you say cookies roll? See?
Show my
She's giggling.
Love you guys.
I love you, Luna. You're so good. You're the best.
She's braver than I am.
She did a good job. Now she's dancing on out of here.
Oh, good thing I left you on a good camera. I was I didn't even pay attention to what camera
You're
you could
just
have been
doing your own thing.
Oh, she came over and jumped on my lap. I could have left you on the palette camera and not even have known it.
I'd have told you. But she's so cute. She's so cute. I really enjoy her. Feeling very blessed. All right. So I put out my colors for this next part, which is the titanium white, the yellow oxide, the burnt sienna, cadmium orange, cad yellow, and cad red. And yes, red and yellow do make orange, but these two don't quite make this orange. It actually takes the cad yellow light and the cad red light to get to that orange. So sometimes it's just easier to get that paint. I mean, they have it in student paints and stuff like that, so you don't necessarily have to do it. Always, in palette knife work, unless you're working professionally, have a large collector base, which you probably already know this, I would just use hue and save money there. And I'm going to show you how to paint in a tree with your knife.
Yeah.
With your knife. Painting a little tree with your knife. So I'm going to pull out a little of my brown and maybe a little of my yellow ochre. press those together and a smidge of white, so I've got kind of that little streaky bit as a bead.
As a bead?
As a bead.
All
And
right,
the reason that I had to make sure this was dry is because we have a lot of yellows and everything, and purple, and these colors are contrasts. So I press down, pressing down on that bead. See how that's making like the little tree? I can curve it if I start to head that way. You see it kind of has little joints. It's sort of rough, and that's okay. All right, I pulled this bead right here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to come off of this little joint here, pressing down. Got a little bit away from me, so I'm going to scrape back if I need to. So if your branch gets a little bit away from you, the fix to that is to thicken up your trunk a bit. That is the weird, funny fix to if you get a branch that gets a little too thick. You can get your bead perfectly in. Reload your bead on the edge. This is one of those places that Angela's credit card technique is very helpful. I'm just branching out some branches. See me branching out some branches? A lot of this is going to be covered by these little dab leaves. You don't have to be too crazy with yourself about it.
Now, could you use another shade of yellow if you had that there?
Yeah. I just like to have stuff that shows up against the background here. Right? And I just want enough little branches so that it feels like a tree when I put my leaves. So I've got this here. And I'm going to put at least one more tree in. I'd had a third tree in, but I didn't like it in the painting. I felt it made it too busy design-wise. So when I did the brush, I simplified. And it's always okay to recognize that in a painting and go, you know, I really need to simplify. I'm going to come up above my waterline here with this one. And tap that in along the edge here. So I'm tapping it, just tapping that trunk in. And then I'm going to come, I flipped my knife pointing down because I'm trying to do the stroke to my strong side here. And I'm just pressing in. And it's just leaving a little bead of paint. This is not perfect. If John's close enough on it, you're going to see it's not about a perfect little thing.
Yeah, now we got a bunch of questions that I'm saving here for you. So
about the tree?
Oh, about all sorts of stuff, and I'm gonna let you explain this out.
So I'm just trying to make sure I have enough little twiggly bits here so that it's believable. Uh-oh, I pressed down too hard. So I'm gonna wipe here.
Now, can you drag the brush along the blade edge to make it align? Oh.
You can. This is a really rough surface, and it gets to be harder, but you can. I am just trying to get rid of that little boo-boo.
Gotcha.
And I did. Scraping. It's always scraping.
Now, as soon as you're done with this, we have some varnish questions that we're saving up here.
Okay.
And
we can do varnish ones at the end because that's an end process.
Yeah. And Amy is really happy to see this. She just got out of the hospital, had a spinal, and she really is looking forward to having something like this to watch. So.
I'm so glad. Not glad about the spinal, though, but glad that you're out and you're getting to watch TV.
And she watched the other video. She watched one of our other videos this morning.
All right. So we have those two little trees sort of in.
Those are looking cute.
That's cute. It's very
cute
simple.
Trees.
This little palette knife is cleaned.
And
what's wonderful is I'm going to come, and the first color I'm going to do is my Pure Cad Red.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to load it right on my diamond brush, mostly at the tip here. And I'm going to come and I'm going to just sort of dab the knife around and create little bits of leaf-like structure. And this is the other reason why right now it's very nice that the painting underneath is dry.
Now, Lexi
Look at this.
was
It's
asking.
not dissimilar to what we were doing at the waterfall.
Yeah. Now, Lexi was asking if you don't have these colors, could she substitute her own?
Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah, I tell you guys the colors I'm using so that you don't get surprises in your mixes, and so that I've at least, let you know, hey, this is how I got it. But never in art is there one way to get a job done, a goal accomplished, And so never feel limited by what I or any other art instructor is telling you. I mean, yeah, definitely if you're in a workshop, respect somebody's class if they have a materials list.
Yeah.
But here on YouTube, be creative.
Do your thing.
Do your thing. Do your thing.
Paint
Now,
what you want to paint.
How I'm making decisions about the shape of my tree is I'm trying to avoid really sort of geometric shapes like a circle. I'm trying to do what I do with my clouds or my splashes or anything else and create very uneven shapes.
Ah.
And it's okay. Your leaves can be way out past your branches. And they can also be across your branches, like right here. See how I've done that? I'm pressing this in. I'm just pressing this in. And the paint gets left there, and it looks a little bit like leaves, doesn't it?
It does.
It's crazy. And now you're seeing as you're going through the cadmium, I'm like, use hue.
Because you use a lot of that cad in there, don't you?
Yeah, and it can get expensive. If you're getting the real cadmium, this would be very expensive. Now, if I'm selling to collectors, and I've got a show, and it is important, then yeah, do the real deal. But if it's not critically important, hue covers it. Hue covers it just fine. And it was so funny because I was going to be like, oh, you could just use Peril Red, which is the exact same price as true cadmium. But it is as bright, and it has no cadmium in it. So on a professional level, you could definitely switch out to Peril Red. I'm going to put some leaves maybe coming in off my canvas into my tree here. And I'm going to use some leaves to cover up this boo-boo I didn't like.
Ooh.
Right? Ooh.
So you got a boo-boo. You got to
Yeah, I
cover
had a
it.
little boo-boo in my branch, but that's okay because I'm like,
You're just gonna cover it right there.
design.
Look at that. I'm gonna show
I
you.
will just fix that. See, I'm
You
still
did.
leaving a lot of my waterfall showing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Now, around my tree trunk, I'm loading it up here in my usual bead. I'm going to start putting my little hill here. And I use it in a very similar stroke that I had my brush with, but I'm just doing it with my knife. And again, it becomes real evident why I might possibly not want. I'm kind of flat to the canvas and pulling out the purple underneath to still be very wet. That would be messing me up right now if the purple underneath were wet. But it's not, so I can. So, see, got this going here. And it's just very organic and abstract and nice. More cadmium for this side. Now, you don't have to duplicate your trees or clone your trees. They don't have to be exactly the same.
Now,
So you could have less red over here or
I
more,
see.
whatever you wanted.
I've got a bunch of good questions. that I
Oh,
saved.
ask me some questions as we're placing down leaves.
Okay, that's
I'm
right.
going to use the leaf technique here to also correct my boo-boo where I had a boo-boo here.
I'm going to zoom over there. I'm going to say some of these questions we got that are really good for like some gesso and some varnish questions. I'm going to save towards the end because they're all very good end questions.
I'm just pressing this in. See, I'm just pressing. And I'm also moving this around. I don't keep it just like static, like one pattern where I'm like bricks.
Yeah.
I'm moving the tool around. And I'm not smoothing. There's no scraping. There's no smoothing. There's dabbing. I'm going to make a nice little cluster of leaves here. There we go. Coming in.
Nice.
So, questions as I'm dabbing.
Yes. So, Alexis asks, which is better to paint over a painting I'm not happy with, white acrylic or gesso?
Okay. So here is the actual definitive deal, because my mom will always be like, oh, just paint over it with acrylic, because acrylic always sticks to acrylic better. That is true, except that there's this thing called structural induced discoloration.
Right.
Right.
Which is bleed through.
Which is bleed through. So if you have pigments that bleed through, and some pigments do, like reds, you have to try to create an isolation coat. Now, once you've isolated the colors underneath, if you want to do a gesso, you can do a gesso, and if you want to do an acrylic paint, you can do an acrylic paint. A gesso has a tooth to it, a rough tooth, that allows the paint to restick, and it's very absorbent, and it's less expensive than, say, your titanium white, but acrylic paint lives to connect to acrylic paint. So what you've got to do as an artist, which isn't like kind of like a cookie cutter answer, but the truth is you've got to make a decision. Like, well, I'm painting under with just regular stuff, but I think these things, maybe some pen I use, something I use might bleed through. You know you need an isolation coat. And then you just have to ask yourself, do I want a smooth surface or do I want a toothy surface? And that's what those two solutions are for. Smooth or toothy. I think I'm going to get stronger in the orange over here, so I'm going to leave that. That's going to be my full amount of red.
Now,
What do you think of that?
I think that's great.
All right, so now I'm going to... this is so messy. If you're like, this is the messiest ever, yes.
So
I'm going
while
to
you're
pull my orange out.
Now, while you're putting that in there, can you talk about when you're choosing paint, how do you choose what brand you're going to work with?
And I've come to this over years, and I like to sum it up into pick a company that is been around for a minute and that has a website and a help desk and people that care about your experience, social media, that kind of thing. I really try to stay away from the new experimental companies at this stage, just because if my tube of paint is weird, I want somebody to help me with that. So I try to keep to established brands. And if you're on a budget, what I would say is some of the brands have student lines, and the nice thing is that, like if you look at the company Liquitex, it has a student line, right? So you can get that student paint, but you still have the whole structure of that big company, right? Utrecht or Matisse or Golden, which I love. Golden doesn't have a student line, but I mean, nobody's like more on the helpline to help you as an artist figure out what's going on. And there's a certain value to being treated really well as a customer, where some brands, they don't really care what happens to you. And it doesn't just have to be fine art paint, because Deco and Plaid have really good helplines.
Yeah. So all of those are...
Yeah, it's about finding something that fits your budget, that you can get at your art store, at your place where you get art materials, that treats you really well. Because there's nothing worse in art than being treated bad as a customer. And there's nothing better in art to have somebody be like, I really care about you.
And you should love your art and your paint and your so you should love who you work with. So definitely look into them and
also, it's nice if your paint says that it's ASTMD.
Oh yeah, because it gives you some standards.
Yes, that is the only attempt at standardizing paint. So if you have TMD, right? Then when you see PW6, that's always going to mean titanium white.
Right.
Whereas phthalo blue is always going to be PB 15.4. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Or burnt sienna is always going to be PBR 7. So no matter what you've got going on from company to company, or they've decided to call their paint, you can just look at those numbers if they're part of the ASTM standard.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a nice thing. I'm adding highlights. I'm trying to keep my orange to the top of the tree.
Sorry, I'm asking so many complicated questions.
No, those are good questions, though. It's what we need to think about as artists. I don't mind answering any questions that are art-related questions. I'm not really good with, like, I can't load a picture on Facebook because I struggle like you guys struggle. I can share with you the video I watched that answered that from the expert in tech that I am clearly not. So see, I'm just adding some orange as a highlight. Just tapping it up and down. I'm imagining these are clumps of leaves and where these bright orange leaves focused at. And then I can come down here and look at that.
Look at what you
Sorry.
fast.
I'm pulling a bead on my diamond here.
That is nice.
And then I'm going to just...
Well, you're just sort of highlighting it.
Just a little highlight. Just a loose, abstract little highlight of this paint.
It looks like you're dry brushing with a palette knife.
It's a lot like that. What happens is the paint starts to skin just a little bit. Just a bit. And if I keep my pressure light, the natural inclination of acrylic paint to stick to each other happens, and I can skip just along the top of what's happening.
Cool.
All right. Now I'm going to come over to my tree on the other side. And I'm going to add some more highlights. Look at that. And see how it just lets the paint skip?
I do.
Underneath. This is a very light tap. Move your brush around or you'll get patterns. And you don't want the patterns, you just want it to be randomly left here on top. See how it almost got patterny there? So I've got to come back here and move my brush around and work it. Work it. Work it. I don't want my trees to overcover my waterfall. I learned that, though.
Why is that?
Well, because then it was really pretty and it was a lot of work and I wanted to show. It was pretty and I wanted to show.
That makes sense.
Vanity. I worked hard to get that. So I'd like it to show. I'm going to wipe off my brush. You can see what I'm saying, but I have way too much burnt sienna and ochre out. Oh, my wipey claws are all covered in paint too. So like it's almost just like I'm moving paint around. So now I've got my yellow. I'm going to, however, pull a little bead of white over to my yellow.
Why is that?
I find that it helps the coverage of yellow. Yellow tends to be a slightly more translucent paint, and a little white in it helps it not be boring, and also to have a little more coverage. And I'm just a little bit here and there. Not everywhere. Wipe off, pull a little bit. Just a little of this. Just to say that this is 3 tones of fall color. What do you think of that, Mr. Cooney?
I think that's pretty cool.
I think these are really fun. And I think if you'd been wanting to play with Palette Knife, this is a good place to start because it just is saying very simple, happy things. And that's what you want in Palette Knife. And plus, we got to get these skills down so we can landscape up this fall.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
We need some skills. Ooh, I just saw we have 333 people and 333 likes. Woohoo.
Woohoo. Do we want to dance again? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, sure. Let me see if I can find some dance music.
I think
just lost
it's just
it
a
all.
dancey dance week.
It is.
I added that nice little bit. I've got sun coming down here. I imagine my sun coming from somewhere up here and hitting leaves.
We'll put Karen Walters on.
Well, that's a...
She has a... Where's her...
That's okay. Let's dance relaxed. We're feeling Karen Walters' relaxing vibe. I'm going to make this little branch here much more yellow. See how I hit that yellow highlight there?
Yeah.
Now, if I'm saying the sun's hitting like this, then I know this is going to have some. And then a little bit right there. And then this could have a smidge. See?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. And then I'm going to come and put a little bit
Oh, you're over there.
on my grass.
You're just so fast.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be fast. I know I'm fast. Sorry. All right, here?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. I apologize, sweetheart.
Okay.
Now, the last little touch, but I think it's an important touch, is you've got to do some reflections in the water of the trees above.
Okay.
And the reason that you need to do that is that water is like a mirror, and it will reflect the colors and things around it. So even if you're painting decoratively like we are, you still want to apply things like highlights would be here, focals would be here, and water would reflect.
Yeah.
So I'm going to load a little bead. And I'm going to add just a little bit of red into this. Not a lot. A little bit of orange. We're almost done, guys.
Oh, wow.
Just a little bit. Sort of here and there. Notice I'm very light with it. I do keep it level. But this is like a reflection in the chop, isn't it?
Yes.
And that's what you want. You just want the reflection in the chop. Loaded to my strong side.
So
That's funny.
Colleen says, I'm renaming it Michigan Waterfall Tutorial.
Yeah, I've heard that this is much more Michigan than Hawaii. But I want to go to Hawaii, so that's what happened to me. All right. So I'm just trying to balance out the color here. All right. I feel like I've done it.
I think you've done it.
I've done it. You don't sign your palette knife paintings with your palette knife. You would sign that still with the detail brush.
I found your music.
Found it?
Yeah. So the vocals make it hard for people to hear. So I forgot about that. So sorry for everyone on that. I'll try not to put those on there. So what, you're gonna sign your...
I'm going to sign my name in an uncharacteristic red.
in the Sherpa spot.
Huh?
Right down there where the Sherpa signs.
Yeah. Just that. Why do I sign these? Because everybody paints them. And this is a good way to know, oh, wait, this one is that one.
This is the one that I did.
Usually I'm not really under that much pressure to sign my artwork because nobody else is painting what I'm painting.
But you know, we've had over 300 people here with us almost the entire time. And it's over 330 people here with us right now. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us. I really look forward to seeing these Aloha / Michigan
brush or
Waterfall.
Pallet Knife. I personally like Pallet Knife a
I
lot, but they're both real doable. So wherever your comfort and joy is, whatever you want to work on. Look, this is so cool. I can't wait to update my thumbnail. Varnish.
Yes, we had some questions about varnish. So a couple quick questions. One, is varnish an isolation layer? 2, can you use hairspray as a varnish? And 3, when should you varnish?
Varnish is not an isolation layer. An isolation layer is something that seals the painting and protects it from varnish and anything that happens above that surface. So something like GAC 100. And the idea behind that is if you were to say GAC your painting with GAC 100 and allow that to cure and then varnish, you could always remove the varnish or fix the varnish. If you messed up the varnish and you use real varnish, not gloss medium and varnish, but varnish, you could actually fix and repair it. Becomes more important when you've got pieces that you're going to just kill everybody in the room if they get messed up. No hairspray is never a varnish or a fixative.
Oh, let's see if I can.
Ever. Probably not that safe for your hair.
I can do that.
It's beautiful. No, I missed it. No, because it'll be back up. Alexis Hill, it'll be back up. Very pretty. Can't wait to go at home and try to paint this one. Thank you. All right, sorry I didn't say those are different colors, not the same. I won't make the same colors, but do a color chart with the ones you know and the colors you make with that. Yeah, D, very good advice. D, 2250. Can you use polyurethane to varnish? That is going to be very clearly explained to you on each bottle of the varnish. And what I will say is, having been on a varnish adventure with John, that's deep, murky water. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions exactly to the T or stuff will get crazy. Kimmy Smith says, thank you for this beautiful tutorial. I appreciate that. Ravenous Artist says, freeze.
They don't want you to go anywhere. They want you to stick around.
I'm in Bulgaria, and I missed it here because of timing. Hi, Maria. Oh, my God. Bulgaria is pretty. Yeah. Send pictures.
Yeah.
I love both waterfall paintings. Thank you, Mona. I appreciate that so much. What is the best golden varnish? Okay. Now, I'm going to be real careful because whenever you answer a golden question, you got to be real careful. I'm going to say this. The best golden varnish is the varnish that specifically is designed for what you do. Golden has a massive line of varnishes for indoor, outdoor, every kind of application, multimedia, and they're each specifically for a thing. So my honest advice, whenever you're doing any work with a really established paint company that has a very robust product line, is go ahead and take that time because this has to dry for a while. This is thick paint, so even when it's dry on the surface, it's not dry. It's curing through the paint. Your painting needs to cure, even if you're doing thin paintings like when we do like with the brush. Still give it a couple days. Go ahead and take that time when your painting is curing to write your company, describe your project, and tell them the result you want, and they're going to come back with a very detailed explanation of what products they have work best. And since they don't want to hear back from you in an angry way, they're going to do their very best to make sure that you get the result you want. And with golden, I'll definitely say that's true, because you write them and say, I have an impasto painting and I use these colors. They might have a whole line just for that. Or if you're like, we just wrote them because a friend of mine used oil pastels on her acrylic, and I was under the impression there was a varnish for that.
A varnish for that?
But there is not.
No,
but we learned a lot about oil pastels and what other materials she could have used where she could have still varnished the piece. Because oil pastels have mineral spirits. You took my chat away.
I did.
Oh, well. Anyway, so varnish is one of those things. We're going to do some more varnishing videos because I think we could talk about that. My mom, Ginger Cook Live, has a bunch on varnish. I have my simple gel medium and varnish. The gel medium and varnish is a great varnish if you are one and done. Like once it's on the painting, it's done. And I talk about that. There's no isolation coat. It's one and done.
Right.
But if you put it on too thick, you're going to get brush strokes. If you don't follow the exact instructions, you can get cloudy. So it's easy and it's pretty forgiving, but it has its negatives. Everything has positives and negatives. And I could talk about varnish for like an hour.
I know.
It literally could be a quest.
We may do that.
Yeah, of course we have to do that. Got to do so many quests before the Look at my hands.
Oh my gosh.
That mayonnaise no longer any
You know,
good, is it?
We've had so many people hanging out with us today. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody.
Thank you.
It's been so wonderful having everyone along.
I hope you enjoyed both of these paintings today. I can't wait to see what I'm going to throw on you this weekend. We have 800 pictures we're looking at on Facebook that you guys have shared. The one thing I'm going to say when you're sharing pictures, it needs to be your photograph because I can't paint some other guy's photograph. That guy will get mad at me.
Yes.
So mad. And don't worry because I always reverse image search. But definitely if I come to you and say, hey, did you take this picture? I'm not being shady. I just need to know. And I love that you guys are submitting them. And I've seen so much stuff I want to paint. I feel like I don't even have to go to paint my photo for resources anymore.
No.
Some of y'all are some good photographers.
Amazing.
Didn't know it. Thank you for sharing. We'll be working a bunch. But definitely we'll pick one of these for Tuesday. But probably more of these will get picked in general.
Yeah.
Because there's some good references. And I'm so impressed with your creativity. And it also was really great to get to know everybody. It feels like a really sort of getting to know you thread, seeing your pictures.
Yeah.
So Sunday we'll talk about what picture.
Yeah.
But there's no limits. Just keep uploading. It's fine. I don't care if that has 2,000 pictures in it. I will look at all of them. It's pinned to the top of the TheArtSherpa Facebook thread. To the top.
To the top.
To the top.
T-T-T.
T-T-T. T-T-T. I feel like I'm pulling weird faces today. Like,
Now you are.
you fix it.
Oh, I love you guys.
Thank you for hanging in with us.
We'll see you later.
All right. Bye-bye. Love you.